welcome to Chris Parkin Shooting Sports. This is the MDT XRS chassis system. Now, I got this a few weeks ago. I've put it on this CZ457 and I've been out shooting it in all sorts of circumstances, scenarios, and having a lot of fun with it. Now, this stock is available in a massive number of different inlets. You've got things like Howard, Savage, Remington, Tikka, Ruger. So you do need to look on the link in the description to go to the MDT website, and it does tell you all the different inlets, all the different action lengths, and all the different variations. And of course, weights and specifications are a little bit of an average setup because, you know, different inlets have got slightly different form around the action area, so that can affect the weight slightly. Now, what can we tell you about this stock? Let's start at the back for a change. Okay, it comes with 4 length of pull spaces. Length of pull goes from 13.25 up to 15 inches. Now, you do need a few extra length of pull spaces to get all the way up to 15 inches. I'm running it with 4 spaces plus the part of the recoil pad as well, and that's giving me just about 14-inch length of pull. It's got a nice grippy recoil pad, but it's firm, so it doesn't snag your clothing too much, and it will lock into your shoulder and you get a good position. Now, the point of this stock is they wanted to give a chassis style inlet with a little bit more of a traditional external to the stock without some of the more metallic built up modular elements of a PRS stock, for example. So when we're looking at this, you've got an adjustable cheek piece here that obviously goes up and down. It's not got any windage adjustment on it, but the form is actually quite nice and it fits under your cheekbone without displacing your jaw, you know, off to the side, so you can actually keep nice vertical head spacing without having to roll your head over the stock. That can be swapped one side to the other, and because it's got these little thumb turns there, you can nip those off perfectly nicely. You get 2 grips with it. This is the angled rake grip, which is sort of my more preferred style, and I can shoot this with thumb up sort of position like that, or thumb wrapped if I want. There is also a more vertical PRS style grip if that's your preference. They're becoming a lot more popular for a lot of shooters. Not my thing, but I prefer this one, and that's that. So this is a CZ457 inlet, and this is what I say is fairly unique to 457. I've got superb bolt function actuation there, and of course without having a thumb or anything like that, I can be straight onto the gun, you know, backwards and forwards without having to sort of slot in and out like a thumb hole does. Looking at the underside of the stock, got a nice trigger guard which is polymer. The sides of the stock are polymer, the internal chassis is 606 aluminium, so you get a good solid fit and feel. Magazine system is working as normal, there's plenty of space for the trigger and you can still get in to make adjustments. Now, of course, like I said, different inlets will vary slightly in that respect, but they're all designed to work by engineers who are shooters and not by just marketing teams. While we got the stock upside down, I can show you some of the things I've done with it. I've put on the M-lock rail underneath, which is aluminium M-lock rail, I've put some Arca rail here, I've put a Picatinny rail there, and I've put a Picatinny bipod on, and of course being Arca rail, I can fit it to my tripod, shoot it from that exactly as I want to. But there is a small barricade stop here, if you are more sort of PRS oriented, want to put a soft bag down, load into it, or in a barricade, something like that. You can fit a massive barrel profile in here. It's fully free floating. The spec is on the MDT website. It's something like 1.25 inch barrel you can fit there, which is quite frankly a very, very heavy gun. And the fore end is 12 inches of free space on it, so it's 300mm or just over actually. M-lock down the sides as well. Again, M-lock on the bottom, add the accessories you want to that. And other than that, really, you've got a quick release anchor point there for a sling if you want at the back on either side. The front doesn't have anything similar, but again, you might actually use something that connects to the M-lock to situate that for yourself. So what can I tell you? Well, I'm shooting it in a CZ457 2.2 rimfire, so it's not a heavy, aggressive recoiling rifle. I do like the position of it. This rifle you may have seen me using for several years. It's the LRP model. CZ457s have all got the same inlet. They'll all fit exactly the same way, so that's not an issue. What I like about this stock is it just feels a lot slimmer, but it's got the length to it, and you've got the adjustability where you need it without excessive versatility that you're never going to need. I like the fact it fits under my cheekbone. I can still use the butt hook here, keep it just supported if I want to. I've got a sling stud there if I want to put a sling on it, and I've got a bag riding area too. There isn't much of an actual hook to the butt back end here, but you can just nudge into it like that. And on a 2-2 rimfire, where you haven't got a lot of recoil, it works beautifully well for positioning and accurate shot placement. That's whether you're shooting prone, whether you're shooting standing, sitting, kneeling, whichever you want. And of course, stocks are designed to suit the shooter. So you do have to think a little bit about some of the stock designs and think about how you're going to shoot it and whether it's going to suit your needs. Overall weight is 3.9 pounds, which is 1.7 kilograms or 1700 grams, which doesn't seem excessive to me. And of course, that aluminium inlet, which runs the full length really of the action barrel, makes it super stiff. You don't get any kind of movement and affecting zero. And if you do have it, say, clamped in a tripod, you're not going to have any kind of compression forces making anything contact the barrel. The barrel is free floating. The fore end is stiff. You can see there when I'm pushing and pulling against that, you're not going to have any issue with that at all. Overall length of the stock is 32¼ inches, which is 820 millimeters, so not excessive at all. And okay, it's giving you that length of pull, it's giving you that length in the fore end, so you've got the full supporting structure. But at the end of the day, the length of your barrel is going to dictate overall length of the rifle. And the point is that the stock is well balanced, so you end up with a balance point sort of just ahead of the action about here, but it depends on what scope, what accessories, and of course that's all down to the shooter. And on a bipod and on a gun that's designed to be versatile, so you can set it up as you like, well, that's how you're going to control it yourself, because many people, if they are shooting PRS with this, might want to put balance weights on the front end, different barrels, all those kind of things. And of course, if you are in one of the centerfire actions with a larger barrel, heavier barrel, you will want probably more weight overall on the gun at the back end and the front end as well, to make sure it's keeping that ultimate stability when you're aiming with as little physical input as possible, and also that the recoil is affecting the shot as little as possible. So my overall opinion of the stock is I'm very pleased with it. I like the stippled finish of it. It gives it a nice sort of tactile feel. It doesn't pick up dust, it doesn't pick up dirt, and of course you don't get the sort of greasy, especially on a rimfire where you get the lubrication on your thumb from loading magazines. This wipes clean from that and you don't get that sticking all over it. It's quiet in use, it doesn't resonate, it's not hollow sounding. As for colour, I kind of like this tan colour, the coyote colour. I think it works great. I like the bit of contrast against the darker colours of the action and barrel. If you prefer the black stock, go for the black stock. Not that you get any kind of huge recoil from a 2-2 rimfire, but the handling of the rifle is very linear. The little tiny pulse you do get, you know, you can feel that come through the gun. You've got a nice stiff action in the gun, and you can load up that bipod without any problem with the fore end bending or moving and interrupting your aiming system. So when you are in a solid position, the gun is absolutely rigid and firm, and there's no issue with it at all. I'm very happy to be using that, and having this slightly slimmer finish around the grip means you can get a good handhold on it if you want to do. I'm not really one for putting a thumb on here and just tapping a trigger. I do still like to hold the gun properly, whether I go thumb up or thumb wrap, but this stock has been extremely comfortable, and I do prefer it to the standard LRP stock. And I can imagine using this on any one of my rifles in the correct inlet, 223 all the way up to 300 Win Mag if I wanted to. If you're in the UK, have a look at Highland Outdoors. I'll put a link in the description. Click on that, you'll be able to find out the prices. The website seems to be down just at the moment, but I think that's because they're renewing everything. And again, internationally, have a look on the MDT website. I'll put the link for that in the description too, and that will allow you to find your local importers and distributors, and maybe even your retailers local to you in your country and part of the world. I am very happy to have put this stock on this rifle, because the rifle, the barrel action, has always done what I wanted it to do. And to be fair, the stock did as well, but I think I sort of outgrew the ergonomics of the standard LRP stock, and having this as a simple bolt-in option, and it literally takes less than 2 minutes to fit, because the recoil lug fits in exactly as it did before in the back of the stock here. It comes with the 2 screws to fit into it, and you've got no issue putting it in, like I say, 2 minutes with an Allen key. There's just no need for any complication. There's plenty of space around the trigger unit, the safety catch works well, bolt function is perfect, and it's been inlet perfectly for the 457 action in this case. But like I said, go onto the MDT website. The list of action inlets available in this stock are extensive. So there we go, that's the MDT XRS chassis system. I hope you've enjoyed that little review. Please like, subscribe, comment, click the notification bell, dong, and keep track of my regular uploads. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.